Hello, my name's Jane Thompson Webb. I'm Head of Conservation at Birmingham Museum and Art Gallery. What should you look for in racking? Well, the first thing to consider is that the racking shouldn't contribute to the deterioration of the object. So ideally, it should be made from an inert material. If you have to use wood, because that's all you have or you can afford, you need to make sure that it's sealed. Something like an acrylic varnish or paint is the best thing. Try and avoid chipboard if you can, as it's held together with urea formaldehyde, and that can give you formic acid coming off, which does not do your objects any good at all. The absolute ideal is to go for powder coated steel. Doesn't chip particularly, so you don't get problems with rusting, nice and inert, and it's also strong. It's very important that the racking you have can support the weight of the objects that you put on it. There's nothing worse than having bowing shelves. If you talk to racking manufacturers, they will explain weight loading to you, and then it's a good idea if you're dealing with large objects to actually invest in a scale so that you know what the weight is, so that you're not overloading the racking. The racking should be relatively easy to assemble if you're going to try and do it yourself, and you may also want to look for features so that you can put additional shelvings in if your storage needs change over time. Think about heights. There are a lot of regulations about ladders now, and really if you're having to go more than 2 steps up, you're supposed to do a ladder training course. So you may want to consider quite carefully whether you go for racking that will need you to have a ladder, in which case you may want to invest in library steps, or whether you want something that can be reached from ground level. But again, that depends on what you want the racking for. If it's everyday racking where objects are moving, you probably want lower shelves. If you're looking at something for long-term storage, higher shelves are okay. Then think about your objects. Small objects, things in boxes, they can be placed on shelves straight away. If you've got rolled textiles or hanging costume, then you need to adjust what you have. Ideally, rolled textiles need to be supported with a pole through the roller so that there's no pressure on the textile, and that needs to be supported on a kind of bracket system. Most racking manufacturers will be able to help you with that kind of thing. Smaller flat textiles, prints and drawings, they're generally better in drawers. They're easier to access, you're not compressing the objects by stacking them, and some kind of plan chest will work well. Very often you can incorporate those into the main run of racking that you have so that it becomes a very versatile system. If you don't have a huge amount of space, roller or compactor racking can really add that and give you the extra space that you need. It is more expensive, and laying the track in the floor can be quite problematic. You need to have the right kind of base for it to go on, and you also need to clean it periodically so that the tracks don't get gummed up with dust and dirt. But it does make a difference. You can get them into quite small spaces. You just need to be careful that nobody is in the aisle when you start closing the racking. So you're looking for inert materials, you're looking for strong, and it needs to be versatile so that you can incorporate all the kinds of objects that you have in your collection.